Hey everybody, what's going on? Jimmy is Promo here, back again with another awesome video. And in today's video, I am super excited to unbox, set up, and ride for the first time the OneWheel XR, with the XR standing for extra range. This one is able to get you between 12 to 18 miles with a top speed of 19 miles per hour. And now I am super pumped to get this thing set up, as well as play with the application to set up your riding style or the riding mode, which is actually called Digital Shaping 2.0, so you can shape the type of ride if you're playing mostly on asphalt or if you're taking it off to the trails. So let's just simply open this up. We're gonna take this thing outside, go for a really fast first run. I gotta find my helmet, and then I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of thoughts on my first time riding. All right, so opening this one up, the very first things that we will see will be a manual, which we will go through a little bit of this manual here. You do have 3 different stickers, a couple of them for the OneWheel design. Then you also have OneWheel, written out. Now, I guess we might as well look at this one really fast, see if there's anything that we need to know about. It's talking about, making sure you're placing on your helmet, getting helped up, propping up for the first time with your friend. This right here is talking about your Digital Shaping 2.0 within inside of the OneWheel application, which I just got this one downloaded. So we'll also get this one connected with inside of this video. Looking at the 2 OneWheel Plus models that's inside of this manual, the only one that's not inside of here is the OneWheel Pint. The original one right over here had a range of 5 to 7 miles, and it had a weight of 25 pounds. Now this one right here, which is the ones that we have today, this one is the OneWheel XR with, again, the range of 12 to 18 miles, and this one does weigh 27 pounds, and it'll fully charge probably approximately within 100 minutes, which is gonna be probably the number of when it's completely just shot out and dead. So there's a lot of ride safely information. So this right here is going to be your charging brick. This little spot right here obviously plugs into the very side of the brick. This goes inside of your wall, and this will go inside of that OneWheel XR. And this looks pretty familiar with a few things I've used from the past, but this one is a huge connection port. Okay, let's move this out of the way. There we go. Look at this, guys. Dude, this... Woo. New rubber. The sound of new rubber. I love this. All right. Oh, let's take this off. Ooh. Let's look at the top of that right there. Look at this. Now that is some good tape right there. All right. So how about we go get the helmet, we take this thing outside, and let's see if I fall or not. So it has been a couple days since we unboxed the OneWheel XR, but there is a few things I do want to mention before we go off and ride. First off, make sure you wear protective gear, so your helmet, wrist guards, as well as knee pads. Now, I did opt out of the elbow pads, but that's just my personal choice, especially for the first 10 to 15 miles. After that, when you're more used to the board, then you could probably start taking a few of these off, but I am a huge night rider, and so I'm always wearing my Lumos Matrix helmet, which will be a future video coming up soon on the review, but it's super amazing for night riding. Other than that, a couple things you will notice about this board is that the side that is lifted up by default, this side is the heavy side, this is the light side. This is the front portion of the board, the lip, where you do want to have your foot covering both sides of this blue line. This is basically engaging the board to ride. And then when you jump off of the board to disengage it, that is where it stops. So the other things I do also want to point out is on the lip that is basically lifting up, this is your power button. And then on the other end of it is going to be your charging port. And also on the exact same side is going to be your handle, to where you're able to basically lift and carry this thing. That's the only negative thing about this, is how heavy it is. It's almost 30 pounds. It's pretty much right around 27, 28 pounds. the other most important thing about the OneWheel Plus XR is the dismount. Now there is a couple ways of getting off of the board. The first way is by basically just doing a little bunny hop off of the board with both feet at the exact same time. So when you do that, that's pretty much your last resort. It's the fastest way, the most safest way of getting off the board. And it's one of those things where if you get really close to an edge or a busy street and you got to get off, that's probably one of the better ways to do it. And it will stop and it won't move forward any further. The other way is, it's a different way than what they tell you in the user manual. So what they tell you in the manual is by lifting up your heel and keeping your toes down to stop the board. Now for me, that doesn't feel natural, it doesn't feel nice. I first tested that, but it wasn't my choice that I use today. The choice I use today is by lifting up the toes, pivoting the heel, and going to one side. So that is super simple and easy. And I'd have to say 98%, 95% of getting off the board is by doing that. So one more try. It's really great to do this, you know, in your living room or downstairs next to a couch where you can practice it. But really, it is a really nice grippy tape. So you will have to lift it, move it over, and again, that's how you dismount. From before, I've used this OneWheel between the opening and to today for about a few days. I've already put on a couple different miles, and so a couple of things that I've learned is definitely the dismount. One of the most important things is the dismount. If at any point in time, just jump off with both feet or have the heel down and basically pivot your toes all the way to the one angle. Now the other thing I've also learned is the first time that I played with the OneWheel, it was down in my basement, and that was probably the most smartest thing I could have done because it's been a long time since I've ridden a skateboard. I didn't ride it too often, but I rode it quite enough to say that I rode a skateboard. And so with me being older, years down the road, it was really nice to have a couch in front of me practicing the dismount and moving left and right and forward and backwards and just basically turning around. Now, the one thing that I am going to have to add on to my OneWheel is the fender. When you ride and you're going, I'm actually around baseball fields right now, so I'm getting a bunch of sand kick up on my leg and basically going into my shoe. So that's one of the things definitely I will be investing in as well. And so you guys will definitely look at a future video here soon of me installing that one, which will be a magnetic fender. So this way everything will be dirty on the bottom and I'd be able to basically pop it right off, clean the underneath, and place it right back on, and also easily switch between all the different colors and styles that they have. Now, one other thing that I noticed on this ride today is that I'm wearing the wrong shoes. Originally, I always ride with my skater shoes. It's something that's a little bit more flat on the bottom, something that doesn't have a lot of movement around the ankles. So you want to make sure you have something with comfort. And usually, skater shoes are extremely stiff. You want them to be flat-footed. You don't want all like the airs and the gels and pretty much anything like that. So if you stand in your shoes and you try to go to the right-hand side, trying to lean off of the edge of your foot, if your foot or the shoe moves, then that's the wrong pair of shoe. You want to make sure you have the shoes that are stuck and glued basically to your feet, so this way it's not having all that movement, to make sure that you have something that is stable for all of your rides. Hey guys, so we are back from the ride, and there's a few things I want to talk about to close out this video and also show you the OneWheel application and how I have mine customly set up. Now, one of the things we talked about was footwear. Now, this is the type of shoe that you definitely want to wear. You don't want to have anything that's high or gels or air or anything. You want to make sure that you have enough support with your ankles. So there's a lot of grip that goes on with the grip tape and your shoe. So you want to make sure that you're riding with something that has a little bit of support but is also flat and comfortable. Now, the other thing we're talking about accessories. And so one of the accessories I just got today is from Craft and Ride. This is a magnetic fender, so it's something that would block the Vega go-kart wheel. So when you ride, you will be noticing a lot of kick up of dust and dirt and rocks and things like that. It'll hit your leg, it'll get inside your shoe. And so this is one of the main things you should get with the OneWheel is a fender. And this one's magnetic, so it's easily able to snap off and put right back on, so I can clean it and exchange it out for different colors. Now, heading inside of the application, this is going to be your main home screen. This is your board for the tab. You have 52% battery left, and this is your riding style. So right here I am inside of custom, but if you move it on over, this would be delirium. You also have elevated, you have mission, and if you're ever curious on any of what these mean, click on that little question mark and this will show you what it is. So inside of digital shaping 2.0, this is what's showing you pretty much how all of these kind of work. The definition of what's going on, kind of what you're building, which right over here inside of delirium, it's very aggressive and it's mostly for trails, but this one's kind of built almost everywhere. When you go inside of custom, your max speed will be 20 miles per hour. And to show you what mine is set up as, if I go inside of the very end tab, which is custom, and then I click on the settings. So this is how I have mine set up. So for the carve ability, I do have it at -1. So in this way I can go a little bit faster and I don't have to worry about, you know, kind of missing up, since I am still kind of new. You can move it over to -2 and -3 if you want it to be a little bit more loose. So over here, it's gonna be a little bit more like a Cadillac, and this is gonna be a little bit more like a sports car, like a Mustang. Now right over here is your stance profile. So I like my tip up a little bit. And so my nose height is gonna be at the +1.2. And then for the aggressiveness, I have it over at 4, so it's a little bit more mellow, and it's a way that I can kind of go through some of the grass a little bit, and this is good enough for me. I've ridden about maybe 12 miles. We'll kind of look at that, but this is kind of where I'm at for right now, which is -1, the +1.2, and then 4. And when you're finished, you just hit on done. Now the next tab is going to be for rides, and this is where you'd be able to check out all the other rides that's all around you, so you can really zoom in on your area, and they kind of disperse, and you can see a whole bunch of different riding areas. You can also change kind of the layers and how everything is kind of set up and how it looks like. You can also hit on that target. It'll take you exactly where you are, and then up over here, this is your rides. So for today, I did this one right here, and I also made it, you know, live and public so people can see it. This one's still kind of hidden because I started off riding this one here, but then I popped over inside of my vehicle, forgot to stop the ride, and that's why I'm not making it public because it's not really a real ride. It started raining. Now this one here was the ride that I did today. Went a little over 2 miles, and it was actually really fun. Took some trails behind a whole bunch of different, you know, baseball fields and soccer fields and everything else. So this is where you can check out all the different rides. Let's say that you click on this this little icon here. When you click on a board, you can see other people's rides if this is something that you're interested in. So this person rode for 50 minutes, went 2.9 miles. Now for my ride, I went for, let's see, 11 minutes, and I went 2.1 miles, which really wasn't that bad. Now, if we move over into the next tab right over here, this is the leaderboard. This will show you where you are versus everybody else. And so for today, for one day, I did 12 miles, which I did 12 miles today. My total was 22 miles. So out of everybody, for today, I'm ranked 651st place. For the total of everything of my 22 miles I've done total, I am ranked 1590. And you can go through here, see how everybody does with, you know, how many day streaks they do. And they switch it up between the OneWheel Plus XR, the OneWheel Plus, and the OneWheel. And then you also have the most miles, so you can see how far people have ridden there. So it's really fun to see other people. You have shop, which is taking you into the shop, and then you also have academy, which is teaching you different ways of riding the board, what to do if you get pushed back, how you're able to get on, the teaching of the OneWheel app, teaching of the custom shape shaping and really everything else. So this was the application. And really what I have to say as well too is that now that I've ridden a little over 20 miles, I'd have to say that now I'm comfortable riding without helmet and knee pads and wrist guards. But I'd have to say that when I was first out there for the first 10, 15 miles, I felt 100% comfortable doing that. And as well as too, when I hit these bumps and it kind of moved the board, I was getting a little scared and I would slow down right away. But now I've gotten to the point where if I hit a little bump or something, it'll kind of jiggle, but I fix it and I'm good to go. So really it's just get on the board, ride, play with it, and that's what really gets you used to it and get a lot better too, because I'd have to say the first day that I went out there, my nerves was moving, my heart was pounding. I don't know if I was really in the right setting of my ride style and everything else. So now after riding it, you know, it's crazy. It's one of those things where when you ride or when you get, like, let's say a motorcycle, at any point in time in the day, from the moment that you first get it, you will always find any reason just to get on your motorcycle and ride. It's the same thing with the OneWheel, is that you have any purpose to go anywhere, you're gonna pop on it and go. And a lot of times when everybody is sleeping in this house, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna go ride and just do my thing. It's one of those things that you just look forward to getting on because it just makes your day good. It makes you happy, it makes you smile, it makes you have adrenaline and everything else. And I mean, I have a lot of different electric boards and scooters and the Segway Mini Pro and a whole bunch of other electric bikes, but this is the one that gets me most excited to go out and ride. Now, along with saying that, there's a lot more accessories I plan on getting, which I also mentioned in the video. So I already have the magnetic fender. I plan on getting the handle from Craft and Ride, as well as getting a backpack from Craft and Ride as well, if I'm able to, as well as getting a different helmet for night riding, which I'll be getting that from Lumos. So I'll be getting the Lumos helmet. So this way I'd have brake lights and everything else in the back, as well as 10 really bright LEDs in the front, so everybody knows where I'm coming and where I'm going. But other than that, I hope you guys have liked this video. If you guys did, please give this thing a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to hit on subscribe if you want to see more videos with the OneWheel. I plan on doing more videos as I keep on progressing, so I'll be talking about the first 50 miles, the first 100 miles, and everything else, because I know I'll easily be hitting that if I'm already at 22 within just a few days. And other than that, I'll see you guys later.